Let me tell you something funny. I submitted the worst statement of purpose you've ever seen. I don't think there's any worse than that. It was 4 pages of boring text that started with something like, ever since I was a child, I dreamt of becoming the next Albert Einstein. What? I was rejected. Too bad. But here's the crazy part. I rewrote the entire thing using a 6 paragraph formula, and that new statement of purpose helped me to gain some funding for my master's program. Now, in this video, I want to break down the exact 6 paragraph formula that scholarship committees want to see. I will show you real examples from a winning statement of purpose in renewable energy, the specific phrases that grab attention, and mistakes that get some African students rejected, even though they have perfect GPA. I would also review one paragraph that most international students completely mess up, which is paragraph 5. And it is often that paragraph 5 that separates funded students from others who don't get funding. Plus, I will give you my own exact statement of purpose review checklist that will help you to get accepted. The link will be in the description if you want that checklist. If you're meeting me for the first time, my name is Brendo. I am a living proof that you do not need perfect grades to win fully funded scholarships. Now I help ambitious African students apply strategically to win scholarship all over the world. If you're interested in that, you can hit me up. The link is in the description. Now let's talk about the scholarships. Paragraph 1 should be the problem solution hook. Please don't use anything like ever since I was a child or start with my name is John from Accra. No, those cliched openings will kill your chances immediately. So this is the formula we will use. Start with a specific problem, then your solution interest, and then connect it to this program. Let's use a real example. So here we'll have a real example from a particular applicant. Now this is a successful application. It says, when rolling blackout shut down my university's computer lab for the 3rd time that week, forcing 300 engineering students to abandon their final project, I realized my country's energy crisis wasn't just about power. It was about lost potential. This moment crystallized my determination to develop affordable solar microgrid for sub-Saharan universities, influencing my decision of applying to University of Strathclyde Renewable Energy Engineering Program. Tell me, what do you think of this introduction? Remember what we said, highlight the problem, the solution, and the connection to the program you want to study. Why does this work? Because it creates a specific scenario, just like we've seen, rolling blackout, 300 students. What is the personal connection? Well, the applicant witnessed this, and there is a clear solution. He talked about solar microgrids, and then there is a program relevance, University of Strathclyde Renewable Energy. Take a moment now, just pause. What is one thing that has sparked your academic interest? What is one thing that motivates you? You can pause the video, think about it, and write it down, and always use that in your first paragraph. This video is proudly sponsored by me. I'm running a 4-Saturday scholarship masterclass in October designed for masters and PhD applicants who want to study in the US, UK, Canada, or Australia, or any of the preferred country. It will be practical, hands-on, and result-driven. By the end of it, you would have applied to no less than 20 scholarships. We'll tackle challenges like low CGPA, limited research experience, and you would even make real progress in real time. From contacting supervisor to submitting application, I'll be with you in each and every step of the way. There are only a few slots left, so hit the link in the description and secure your spot today. I'll see you in October. In your paragraph 2, paragraph 2 is key. In paragraph 2, you talk about your academic and experience credentials. And the formula we will develop for this would be academic foundation plus relevant experience plus your unique strength. No scholarship committee wants you to dump your CV on them. Nobody wants a CV dump, but strategically highlight your preparation for the specific program you're applying for. For example, my bachelor's in electrical engineering from University of Lagos, where I graduated with a 4.5 out of 5, provided the technical foundation for my renewable energy focus. During my final year project, I designed a solar charging station that reduced charging costs by 40% for local phone vendors. And then he goes on and on to explain about publishing in African Journal of Engineering and Technology, also goes further to talk about all the challenges that he has solved. And he says his role as the president of Engineering Student Association taught him to lead diverse team toward common goal. Now that is a good second paragraph, because what we've just seen here is academic background, foundation, and experience. This is really key. But what are the specific elements in that second paragraph? If you look at it again, so let's take a second look. Well, he mentions the specific achievement, which is 4.5 out of 5, and then he also talked about 40% cost reduction. It mentions publications and tangible outcomes. It also shows that he has relevant work experience, and there is also demonstration of leadership. One thing you want to avoid, however, avoid listing everything you've done. Be selective, only mention what is relevant, or connect them properly. Remember, pitch yourself well. Pitch yourself well. Now let's talk about paragraph 3. Paragraph 3 is equally important. Now, paragraph 3 is why this particular university, why the program. This paragraph shows you've done your homework, you've done your research, and you're not just applying to every university you find. The formula we will develop for this one will be program uniqueness plus specific professors and facilities, and maybe personal connection. Let's look at another example. Now, in this example, we have Strathclyde interdisciplinary approach to sustainable energy, combining engineering with policy and economics, aligns with my goal of creating scalable energy solutions for my country. And then he mentions a particular professor, Professor Sarah's research, and also talks about Professor Sarah's recent work and how it connects to undergraduate thesis. Do you see that? And then mentions the state-of-the-art facilities and how that would help in partnership with African government. Let me give you some tips. In this paragraph, you want to mention one or two specific professors by name. Before this time, you must have contacted them, you must have been in communication with them. And you also want to reference their recent research papers or project. Show that you've made contacts with them. Connect their strength to your goals. And this is what I would advise. If you notice, this particular student mentioned, or scholarship winner mentioned Professor Chen, saying Professor Chen encouraged her to apply. That is key. So if you contact a potential supervisor and they encourage you to apply, then you can include that in your statement of purpose. Paragraph 4, career goals and program alignment. This is key, and the formula for this will be short-term goals plus long-term vision plus how the program bridges the gap. Let's talk about this a little more using the example. Okay, so here we have, upon completing my master's degree in renewable energy, I plan to do this in this organization to gain global perspective. And also mentions a paragraph or a sentence for long-term goal, which is to establish a social enterprise that deploys affordable solar solutions across rural African communities. And you see the quantifying number there, 40 million people, how it affects 40 million people. So you want to be specific, use your data or your statistics or however you want. And then he also mentions, if you can see here, this will provide the knowledge and connection essential for turning this vision into reality. Let us briefly analyze the key elements of this paragraph. There is a specific timeline, 2 to 3 years. There is a named organization, which is IRENA. There is a quantified impact, 40 million people. There is a program connection, which is entrepreneurship emphasis. So you want to avoid vague statement like, I want to help my country. Be specific. What exactly would you do? How will you do it? How long will it take? Paragraph 5, which is unique, is your unique contribution. Now, this paragraph is where most students mess up. And what I want you to understand is you're really answering the question, why should we give you the scholarship over 500 other qualified candidates? So don't phrase it like you're begging for scholarship. Make it mutual benefit. Let's use an example from a winning sample. It says, beyond qualification, I bring unique African perspective, and also mentions here about my experience navigating Nigeria's complex regulatory environment and understanding local implementation challenges offer insight that complements Strathclyde Global Research Initiative. Now, do you see that? It also goes further to say, as someone who has successfully led cross-cultural teams and published research in engineering journals, I'm prepared to contribute meaningfully to the program's diversity goals. And then goes on to mention established networks with Nigerian government agencies and local NGOs could facilitate real-world testing opportunities for Strathclyde renewable energy project. Now, you'd notice in this statement of purpose that this candidate has applied or submitted publications, which means you should have publications. You should be working towards that. If you do not have that, you can let me know in the comment section and I could guide you on that. But what are the key things here in this paragraph? There's a specific value proposition, which is African perspective. There's concrete contribution. There is network value, which is the government and NGO connection. And then future collaboration potential. Remember, you want to flip any weakness you have into strength. Number 6, a powerful conclusion, because it's the last paragraph. And the formula for this is problem urgency plus your preparation plus the program fit plus call to partnership. Let's use this same example again. And to mention countries' energy deficit represent both an urgent challenge and an unprecedented opportunities for innovation. And then goes on to discuss that in more detail and then mentions, I am positioned to develop solutions that can transform millions of lives. I look forward to contributing to Strathclyde's mission of using technology for global good while advancing renewable energy access across the country. And then ends with a part like, we can turn the country energy challenge into sustainable development success story. I think this really works, and I like this applicant's essay, statement of purpose, for different reasons. This last paragraph reinforces the original problem, summarizes the preparation, and shows partnership mindset. You're not just asking as if you're desperate. And then it ends with an inspiring vision, which is really good. If you've seen the video up to this point, here is a bonus tip about the formatting and submission. If you're writing on Microsoft Word or Google Docs, the same thing applies. The length should be 1 to 2 pages maximum for a statement of purpose. The spacing should be 1.5 or 2.0 line spacing. Your header should be statement of purpose, and then you mention the program, and then the degree, and then time you want to start, including your name, or you can name it whatever. The format, please always submit your document as PDF. Please, don't submit as a Word document, submit as PDF. So draft the work, give it to somebody in your field to look at it, to review the content. Now, give it to somebody outside your field to read and see if they can understand it. And then finally, look at your grammar, your formatting, your PDF conversion. Just make sure you do all of this. But here is something important. If you use ChatGPT, Microsoft Copilot, or anyone to write your content, please know that you just have to be careful and use it ethically. And remember, don't beg. Don't show desperation. Show that there will be mutual benefit. They will benefit from having you, and you would also benefit. And don't use generic templates. Always personalize it to each university. Now, let's review the 6 scholarships. Problem solution hook, strategic academic credentials, specific program research, clear career progression, your unique contribution, and finally, partnership conclusion. Think about your statement of purpose and see if it meets this criteria. And if it doesn't, you might need to rewrite your statement of purpose. And I want to end this video by saying all the best in your scholarship application.